Andrew Clennell, thank you so much for joining me. So there is now going to be a second package of spending from the government.
That's right, Andrew. It certainly appears that way, and it might be more of a case of trying to save industries than stimulate the economy as such. So last Wednesday we had $2.4 billion for health. The PM announced that. And Thursday, $17.6 billion, including cash payments to households, all these payments to small business. And Monday, sort of 3 or 4 days later, suddenly the PM, the Treasurer and the Finance Minister are meeting to discuss yet more, as they called it, economic measures to support industries and business. And look, I think you can look at things like the aviation industry, for example, and other businesses which are at risk of going under, frankly, if this persists and gets worse as we expect over the next few months. And I think the Prime Minister's obviously come to the conclusion that we need some emergency financial measures here.
Yeah, well, look, I think you're probably right. Well, at least I hope you're right, because we should be looking to keeping alive businesses for when we do come out of this. Businesses we need, like aviation, things that go to infrastructure, and not, say, like the NRL, which said, you know, we would like a bit of support too. I think, you know, whether rugby league players have a competition that's broke or not, it's neither here nor there in terms of our long-term recovery.
Well, funnily enough, though, I think the sport industry as a whole, not just the NRL, is under consideration for financial assistance. That sort of argument, they have a multiplier effect, and that can even include country sports clubs, all the rest. But there is a view that certain industries are going to have to be propped up for a few months. And it's not a silly view, really, when you look at the way things are going. I mean, employers are already laying off workers despite the announcement of the stimulus. Casuals are being laid off. Only the grocery industry is going okay at the moment, it seems, as people rush to stockpile. So I think there's a sense here that the good news, I guess, is the Prime Minister's on top of it, or trying to be seen to be on top of, realising how very serious this is. And from a health perspective and an economic perspective, and I expect a few measures on that over the next week. I think they'll be rolled out soon, because I think there's a hope and willingness to inject some confidence when there's a complete lack of it, and a real belief and understanding that businesses overnight have just lost all their business, essentially.
So what do you think made the government change its mind from yesterday to today? Was it Josh Frydenberg being overruled? Was it bad news suddenly really dawning on it? Was it the problems in Wall Street over the weekend? What do you think it was?
All of the above, really. And I think the Prime Minister's kind of taking control of this process, but it does seem like he's stepped up his response in the last couple of days. Now, I'm sure his people would say to you, look, he's always taken it seriously. He just didn't want to create panic and hysteria. That announcement on Friday of banning the mass public gatherings, that has really kind of put it through to the community about what disruption we're facing. I think that would have encouraged people. Well, obviously a lot of businesses on Monday just said work from home, would discourage people from public transport. It really underlined, it was an important announcement because it underlined how serious things are, Andrew, and I think the federal government now feels free to not worry about causing panic and hysteria, but say this is serious and we need to act. And I think that's what has happened. Today the Prime Minister foreshadowed, though, the National Cabinet, which is kind of the COAG hookup, would look at indoor gatherings and any limits on them. And I expect an announcement on that Tuesday night or Wednesday, and I expect potentially indoor gatherings of more than 100 will be banned or limited, maybe even 50, but more likely 100, because that's what was spoken about by health officials a few days ago. And if we get that, then people's weddings are off half the time, you know. But there's a real feeling that the government's got to act to stop these outbreaks. I mean, yeah, we've gone from a situation where the Prime Minister was talking about going to football to a couple of days later you could get up to 6 months jail in New South Wales if you organise a football match with 500 spectators. So things have moved incredibly quickly in terms of the government's response, but they are dead serious now and not trying to stop people panicking. They realise that they need to move and move quickly and move hard.
Something really shifted over the last few days. Thank you so much indeed for your time, Andrew Clennell.
Thank you.